Hey, you guys, this is Everything Tech with another episode of Cities Skylines with something special. So you are seeing a map of Europe and thinking like, what? Okay, you are seeing my country in dark green. It's the Netherlands. That's this tiny country with over 17 million people. So, what has this to do with city skylines? Well, I tell you, most people probably know that the Netherlands is mostly famous because the fact that the country is lying under the sea level for about 2 to 5, 6, maybe 7 meters. And that it also uses land reclamation to gain more area for its people. Because if you compare it to the other countries, you have Great Britain over here, England, Germany to the right, France over here. The surface area of the Netherlands is, pretty tiny. And well, the nicest thing about this map is that you don't see the province of Flevoland. And I will show you on this map how the Netherlands actually looks like today. And a basic fact is that everything that is shown here in brown, these brownish areas, are so-called polders. Now, what is a polder? A polder is nothing else but a dam which is laid inside a body of water in a circular form. Well, this is sort of, circular, oval shaped. It does not matter, but it forms a loop. You encircle the water, or like here you encircle it partially. Here too, and well, here it's a little bit, everything of everything. And then you put in pumps along the side and you pump out the water to the outside, and then you wait until the land, the former seabed, is dry, and then you can build everything you want. So why did the Netherlands do this? Because at this location lies Amsterdam. So this place was getting overcrowded. People had no place to live, and this whole area is what we call in the Netherlands the Randstad, or well, what in English translated edge city. And there are more than 5 million people or so, or something like that, only in this area. But all these people who are working here do want to live somewhere. So there was somewhere in the 70s or the 80s they decided to create this polder, not only for getting more housing space for the people who are working here, but also to create more land for agriculture. So, but what has this to do with city skylines? Well, I tell you guys what this has to do with city skylines. City skylines, gives you the opportunity to do all kinds of things with the landscape. So, what I'm going to do now is to create, or actually recreate, how the Dutch made their polders. Yes, we can do that with city skylines, but just in a way that you sort of understand how this whole process works. So it's not like bam and done and we are ready. No. It's just we are going to sort of create a map or something that looks a little bit like the Netherlands. Does not be precisely correct, but sort of. And then we will recreate sort of this polder in the manner they did it like in the 80s. Yes? Okay, guys, then I will switch to City Skylines, and then I see you in a moment. Hey you guys, here I'm back again, and I found myself a nice little map of my own country. And what did I do? I did remove the Flevopolder, to be exactly, and also the closure dike, to get an impression of how this country sort of looked like 100 years ago, approximately. So what exactly did happen to prompt the Dutch to do all these things they did? Well, in 1953 there was a very big storm on the North Sea, and it went together with a high tide a very high tide, and all that water was pushed from the North Sea all the way to the English Channel, and it flooded enormous parts of this region, and also here in the province of Friesland, probably also in Groningen as well, but the most casualties fell about here. And in that February 1953, about 1800 people lost their lives. So the Dutch government decided to come up with the so-called delta works, which means that they would put all like dams and dikes over this area to protect the country. So the first thing they did was, and I will close in now, and now first before I say something, what I'm going to do is like I created here a, you know, an ugly looking thing, just fix something together. It's totally nothing, but let's say this is Amsterdam, for example. No, and this is the airport at Amsterdam, so it's just for, you know, aesthetics. So the first thing they did, this was the very thing that was bothering the Netherlands, because every time a very hard wind from the northwestern North Sea came in, a lot of water was pushed in this inlet sea. Well, this inlet sea used to be called the South Sea. The South Sea. You can look up on Wikipedia the South Sea. So that explains also the name North Sea. South Sea, North Sea. Huh? Yeah, okay. So they decided to make this lake not a threat anymore by putting up a dam here from the province of Friesland to the province of North Holland. So let's make this dam. We use the, let's use this item, and let's say brush string, a little bit tiny. So it took them several years, because this area, now on this map it does not look much, but this line corresponds with 30 real kilometers. 30, imagine that, 30. So it took them years, and they started building in the 20s, and they finished it, I guess, somewhere in the 30s. And well, I will build it now. The best thing to build this is, is raise the floor to create this dike. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so they started using barges, etc., and they dumped in tons and tons of stone and rocks and sand and etc. In 2 lanes, by the way. In 2 lanes they dumped the stones and sand next to each other, parallel, and later up they filled it up with sand. But for the sake of our video, so to get me a corresponding line, I make a very tiny... Okay, come on, give me something. Yes, thank you. Okay, now I have a base template to work around with. Okay, so they first started with raising a dike at this location. So I will follow this line. Follow this line. Follow this line. Done. Now let's remove that road. And voila. Oh, wrong button. Now let's make it a little bit bigger so that road can go across. So this dike took several years to complete, and it had multiple functions. First of all, it kept any surge coming in from the north at bay to get into the South Sea. And the South Sea was later renamed to the IJssel Lake. So let's connect the road. Okay, like this closure dike had 2 functions. So it first prevented any surge from coming into the new formed IJssel Lake. Now what you don't see on this map, that there were a few rivers called the IJssel, which came into this new lake. So this lake also transformed from a saltwater lake into a freshwater lake. So this lake actually also became a nice reservoir for any water needs for in the future. Okay, so, but still the city of Amsterdam grew and grew and grew and became more densely populated, and I have it on pause, and more people came in, and well, they wanted to live somewhere, but there was no space. Well, you think there is space over here, but there were other cities too, like here was Rotterdam, you had Utrecht over here, The Hague lying over here, the city of Zwolle over here, and the city of Groningen over here. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know, I live approximately here in my country. Yes, here. I guess so. Yeah, this is the place where I live, in the northeastern part of the Netherlands. So let's make this polder, right? They decided to make this polder here in this area, and it was actually Cornelis Lely who developed the idea of creating 3 polders. Now, already one polder is actually already here, and that is this polder. It does not look like a polder, but this polder is already incorporated in this map. The same goes for a polder here. So I focus only on this part of IJssel Lake. Yes. So Cornelis Lely envisioned an idea of a polder that nearly filled up all this entire lake. Within the center, the city of Lely City, or in Dutch we call it Lelystad. So, but in the 80s, when this polder was created and they wanted to create the polder called Markerwaard, there was some resistance from the fisheries in the town of Marken, and some discussions were held, and the building of the polder called Markerwaard was cancelled. So this piece, if you look at the map of the Netherlands, this piece is still a piece of water, even though a dike was made already here to Flevoland. You can see it on the map. There is a dike running from here to the polder. Yeah, I can show you, by the way. I mean, I can, in the video editor, I can just show you the map now. You see here you see that dam. It's called the Houtrip Dike. Okay, back to the game. So yeah, we are going to make this polder. So well, they used the same method basically. It was a matter of well, raising land, making a dike, but they did not want to make, simple, put a dike from here to there and just close this off. No, they also thought about the recreational possibilities with creating this polder. So instead of just joining it to the mainland over here, they decided to create actually an island. This created also a lot of extra water sport activities in these waters around the polder. Okay, now nice history lessons, but let's start this stuff, because otherwise it would take a very long time. So let's make this dike, and let's hope I will do it sort of right, because yeah, it's kind of difficult to do the shape, but I will do it anyway. So okay, what you are seeing now is that the entire province of Flevoland was not created at once. And the northeast part of Flevoland was created first. It was created first, and then the southern part was made. So they created this whole dike around this area, and then they sent in the pumps. Now let's do this in real time, and I obtained like a real super large water pump, and let's see if we can shoreline required. So okay, Okay. Okay. So pumps were placed everywhere on this inside of this shore. And let's connect this together. Like that, like that. Okay. Now it requires some power. Well, let's make it ourselves easy. And let's hope these turbines will suffice. So the pumping started, and it took like I don't know. I think 5 to 10 years before they got it dry. Now we are not going to wait that long, so we're going to speed up this progress and let it suck. Oh, of course, I need to connect it to the system, otherwise it cannot go anywhere. Oh bloody, what an idiot I am. Okay. Let's connect this also to that. Okay. So the water is still a little bit restless because I put this, this dam inside of it. It can even cause flooding on the other side because you can see these waves. So they pumped and they pumped and they pumped. Are these things working? Let's see. Let's check it out. Not operating. Why not? Why are you not operating? Operating normally. No power? Yeah, it has power. Not operating. Why not? Operating normally. Operating normally. Not operating. Operating. I don't know, maybe lack of power. Yeah, it is sucking. Anyway, you can already see the water level is dropping. So let's just check out if there is no hidden water source in here. No. Oh, wait a second, we have one there. No, we don't need that. So steadily, after years and years and years, this area started to fall dry. But the work continued, and so they went on with this levee. They built like here until here, I guess about here, like that, like that, like that, and like that. After years of work, yes, it was done. They started also making pumps, putting pumps over here, over here, over here, over here, and over here. And remember that these were the 80s, and so they did not have like these turbo pumps they have today, but still big amounts of water were released using these pumps. Hook them together like that. Okay. And then the southern part of wow, this is a nice, a nice graphical representation of how the province of Flevoland was formed. So it started to fall dry. And at this water location there were several places erected for water sport, etc., and for all kind of recreational purposes, beaches, etc. So in reality, the bottom floor was never lifted. But for the sake of this video, I will do it just a little bit to make sure all the water will go away, flow at least towards the the pumps. So like I said, in the original plan they wanted to make also a polder here, and then in the center of it would become the city of Lelystad, with a dike all the way going to here, to the city of Enkhuizen. So that dike was made, and I will make it also for, you know, for just accuracy. And the dike had a very peculiar shape. It went like this, and then like that. So, and this dike was called the Houtdrip dike. And the pumping went on for years and years and years and years and years. And finally the land fell sort of dry. But this land was not immediately usable because, well, it was soaking wet. This soil was so wet it took not even that amount of time to get rid of all the water, but it took also a lot of years for the ground to be dry enough to make it suitable for building a city on, and also to make it ready for agricultural purpose. So let's do a little bit of landscaping over here because it's a little bit tight. A little bit tight over here, because in reality there is a little bit more space in between. Yeah, like that. Okay. So, and when this polder was done, the pumps were of course removed. Yes, 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 and yes. And of course, after that, a new road was formed to go into the polder. And let's see if I can make it from here to there. Yes, and from there to there. So we see now this part of the polder is getting also nearly dry now. Let's make this a little bit more accurate, so like this, because it's kind of narrow. In reality it's a bit wider. So let's see, are these pumps still sucking? It's like there's a water source here. No, maybe not. Okay, just now let's heighten the floor a little bit to make sure the water will flow towards the pumps. So Cities Skylines gives us a sort of perspective of what actually a polder is. The term is not very familiar in the English language, but because not many countries have polders, because not many countries are beneath sea level in the first place. So maybe Bangladesh, but the Netherlands is one of the few countries that is for half of its size beneath sea level, and you will find actually the lowest point somewhere around here, and the lowest level is about 7 meters beneath sea level. Now imagine living there, sitting in your house, knowing that there is a sea out there that is 7 meters above you. So after the southern province of Flevoland was nearly drained, this temporary dike was removed, so I will remove it also. And the province became a whole. Now, like I said, this is a very exaggerated, kind of way of showing this, because there is a road on this dike. Now I will make one just for the sake. No, let's just pick a. Okay, this. Great. It's kind of difficult to even create a simple road. Yeah, finally. So this road will end up in Lelystad, and there would be a harbor created in this area, although it's a very narrow here now looking, but there would be a harbor created, and the city of Lelystad would be here. It would be the central hub of what is called Lely project. But in reality, this piece of water was never impounded, so Lelystad was not the center of the whole area. As you would notice if you look at the map of the Netherlands again, it was more the town of Almere, located at this situation, which became more important. And this city grew crazy. It grew to a population over 200,000 in less than 20 years. 20, maybe 25 years. So it was 200,000 people lived here, and a road was created. I will make it from Amsterdam, like, well, let's see. And it went from over here to there, and from here to over there. And well, I just connected to this, so just an impression. So all those people who are working here in Amsterdam went to this place, which was called Almere, and a lot of people lived here in this part of the country. So we already see that this part of the bottom has now turned green, because it took a while, and after the soil dries up, it starts to become green, and it was made fertilized and ready for agriculture. So that is basically the idea, guys, about how the Netherlands made its polders. It's basically a simple concept, only don't underestimate the size of this thing, because these roads, of course, are looking very big in comparison to the area. But if you look at the actual map of this polder, then you see how big this island actually is. And I cannot tell you right now, because I'm in game. I cannot look, the facts for this. But I can show it on screen now, what the size of this area is, and I will show it to you now. Okay, so that's a pretty big size, right? Yeah. So there have been more plans also in the Netherlands to make sure that the country is safe, and because of the rising sea levels, they, for example, near the town of Calwansoog and Petten, There's also a nuclear reactor here at Patton where they make medical isotopes. They made a lot of more beach to make sure that the coastline is secured against more storms and erosion. And well, and of course they built all these delta works over here, but you know, that's a story, that's another story. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this little video, and well, let's make a trip, shall we? Okay guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, see you guys. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and if you have any ideas for Cities Skylines, please let me know. See you guys, bye bye.